I'm bored. I had a channel before, but that got deleted, so I'm just be talking about some random stuff. I guess this first video, will be, let's see. Top 10 presidents who I guess I would most want to hang out with. Here are a few rules. No one post Reagan, right? Don't want to get any controversy. Want to keep my political stuff, like political beliefs, to myself, essentially. This is also not based on policies. This is personally based on presidents who I personally think I would, have a good time hanging out with. These are also going to be American presidents because I come from Bald Eagle, Star and Stripe Land, okay? You got the rules? Great. So top 10. Number 10, I believe, number 10th president I would most likely be able to hang out with is probably going to be... Let me think. Not based on policies, but who I think would be fun to hang out with. I guess Lincoln would be pretty cool for number 10. I know it's a standard cliche choice, but Lincoln was a pretty cool guy. We're always like, he's such a wimp, he took a bullet. I mean, no one's saying he's a wimp, right? I mean, ending that unfortunate period is such a good thing. But I'm in a cool thing, but, I mean, the way he ended wasn't particularly... It's not like dying honorably in battle, go to Valhalla. However, Lincoln was obviously a badass dude, and I'm not talking just about dude glazing because he ended that terrible thing. I mean, he was a folk wrestler. He once fought a duel with another... Well, he almost fought the duel. See, they both had broadswords. This other lawyer was making snide remarks about him, and he basically cut off the branch of a tree with it in one stroke with the broadsword, and the lawyer backed down because he was a wimp, essentially. The lawyer, not Lincoln. Also, Lincoln was very self-taught and loved to read. I'm also a bit of a geek and don't have a college degree, but I'm very self-taught in everything, right? Like, I very much an autodidact, which means someone who does best by teaching himself, although I learned through the internet as much as well as books. Number 9 would be Andrew Jackson. Again, this is not based on political preferences, so I know he was the founder of the Democrat Party. This is basically who I think would be fun or interesting to meet. Reason Andrew Jackson? Again, he was also a duelist, right? He dueled while in office. More pistols than swords, but still. He had a pet parrot that would cuss, and the guy knew how to party. Like, his inauguration party is one of the most legendary parties in history. Number 8 would probably be, I guess, Theodore Roosevelt. Now, why Theodore Roosevelt? Again, he liked fencing, and, I'm not much of a hunter, but we're both, members of a certain organization, right? If you don't know which one, it's the one that wears, funny little aprons and stuff. He was also a really cool man. Turned the Oval Office into a boxing ring. I mean, how cool is that? Okay, number 7. Who would I most like to hang out with? I think would be Lyndon B. Johnson. I mean, I'm not sure how much in common we'd have. I'd probably actually rank him number 10 now that I think about it. This is not scripted. This is just in any order. But, I mean, he was a bit of a frat guy, a little party bro, right? He would be interesting and fun, and his wife Birdie was known to have a legendary pie recipe. And boy, do I like pie. And that's not meant to be like have any context, you little pervs. It's just meant to be, I mean, I really do like pie. Pumpkin, chocolate, whatever. Number 6 would be, and I have an idea of who number 1 is before I go on to number 6. But anyways, number 6 would probably be George Washington, again, not to glaze him or anything, but I mean, he was a fencer, right? I like swords and sharp, shiny, pointy things. Again, we're both members of that same organization that Theodore Teddy was. And if you're really wondering what it was, look up Freemasonry. But yeah. But George Washington, what else could I say about him that is interesting that I would like to hang out with him? Yeah, fencing, Freemasonry. In fact, a lot of presidents are Freemasons, but yeah. Fencing, Freemasonry. Yeah, I mean, he would just be fun, I think. I think those are what we have in common. Number 5 would probably be... shoot, who would number 5 be? I said, I guess... I don't know, Truman might... Or no, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Definitely Eisenhower. I mean, come on. The guy was a World War II general, a war hero. It'll be like if Patton became president. Although Patton was the U.S. Army Master of the Sword, which is a very awesome sounding title I'd like to have, and he really did do cavalry fencing. But no, this is the president's, not Patton. No, this is Eisenhower again. I mean, this is around the time when, you know, UFOs started becoming, like, when conspiracy theorists or whatever you believe in, I'm not gonna put my beliefs aside, but this is when people are saying, wow, the government found out about UFOs. It happened around this time, so it'll be interesting to see what he knows, and just listening to his war stories. That'll be cool. Number 4, let's see. Again, I want to keep it above Reagan, but again, no political beliefs aside, although he would be interesting, so I'm not going to put him on the list. I guess Kennedy. I mean, we're both turtles. Look up Ancient and Honorable Order of Turtles. YBSAM. You bet you're sweet you know what I am. But what else is cool about Kennedy? I mean, I don't know what else will be cool to hang out with him. I mean, Lyndon B. Johnson was his vice president, and, you know, that I already mentioned that I'd like to hang out about him. It'll be interesting, you know, because, you know, Cold War era is fascinating, right? I'm trying to avoid any headshot jokes, right? I don't think he was much of a fighter and stuff, but Kennedy's in general would be, like, an interesting family to talk about. Number 3 would be Warren G. Harding. And that's because we're both Masons, Pythian Knights, see? And I actually have a Pythian sword. That's a family heirloom that'll appear in a later video. It did in my previous channel. But yeah, we're both Grotto members, too. You know, that's something you have to be Mason to join. I might talk about those in later videos. You can find me on Steve Miller. Shout out to him. If you want to learn more about them. I've done some interviews with him on my clubs. Other than that, though, I don't really know much about Harding, but I think he'd be interesting. Number 2, you might think McKinley, but no, I'm not really a big McKinley fan. I mean, you know, Hawaiian sovereignty, I just don't like the whole annexation. I mean, Texas at least chose to join, right? But yeah, not really a big McKinley fan. Although we are all members of the same clubs as well. So no, number 2, I do not want to hang out with McKinley. Who else was there? Is there, I should say. I'm really trying hard to avoid any modern presidents. Anyone post-Reagan. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying real hard. Who do I think would be fun to hang out with? Number 2. I don't know. Polk is pretty interesting, I guess. No, who am I thinking of? I think, yeah, James Polk, right? I mean, the only president to actually complete all of his campaign promises. That's pretty cool. And I don't know what much else we have to talk about. but just listening to the Revolutionary War, I guess, will be pretty interesting. And number one, I'm pretty sure you can guess who it is. It's FDR. Again, all members of the St. Freed, the Knights of Pythias, the Masons, the Grotto. So yeah, we'd have a lot to talk about club-wise. In fact, he's in a bunch of other organizations that I'm not even a member of yet. But also, we both undergone like disability challenges. I may not have anything physical, but I'm sure some of you could guess I am on the spectrum. But so climbing to that position is just a great thing. And leading the nation through World War II is awesome. Only president to serve 4 terms. And, like, the guy ended Prohibition, right? Right? I mean, come on. We Americans love our alcohol. I mean, problems aside, my family has also suffered from alcoholism. Not going to go into detail of that. I don't think people want me to talk about who or what and posted it on the YouTubes, but I mean, but still, Prohibition was more trouble than it was worth. I mean, yeah, the guy was basically a legend, a hero, I think. He's arguably rated as some of the greatest presidents of all times. Again, politics aside, I'm not going to get political on this channel one way or another. This is entirely ranked on who I would hang out with based on presidency. None of my videos are scripted. This is all just personal thoughts and vlogs. Basically just no editing. It's crappy, I know, but if you're interested in, if I get any fans, or I don't know, I don't think I'll ever get big. If I do, though, if I get like super rich, I promise you I'm not going to go over the top, right? I tried to be humble and stuff. I don't know, I might be a little flaunty, but come on, I like collecting things and lots of things. I'm not going to go and say, no. I don't really like those people who are all pretentious and say, I'm better than everyone else because, I have a successful thing. I'm like, good for you, you're successful, right? If it happens, it happens. If not, it doesn't. I don't really care one way or another. This is just a way for me to blow off steam and pass time. And so, yeah. And if it looks like I'm looking around all the time, ADD and all that. But yeah, look forward to more frequent-ish videos. Just been going for some live stuff. I hope at least, I get some people to follow me, I guess. But if this remains under here for, 50 years, after my death, I don't care. It's a historic time capsule, right? If the internet's still around, there's no EMP, and, it'll still be interesting to, at least, because that's the cool thing about history. So much has gone unrecorded. I truly believe, if the internet lasts, we're going to have, some people who, artists who might be, famous after a lifetime. But anyways, this is a relic holdover from my previous channel, but here's my outro. Rock on, my dudes and dudettes, and goodbye.